What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1!
And we're back at it to answer your questions in this episode of For the Greater
WAAAGH. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the Warhammer 40k community. Not the website, but just you. I caught that as I was saying that. You know what? Yeah, no, never mind. So you ask us questions, you put question in front of your question, and we answer them. Every week, actually. And that is what Mr. Aitright said. He asks, did you guys see the controversy at the 40k Las Vegas Open? Some crazy rule lawyering. Also, well, let's answer that one first.
So what ended up happening?
From my understanding, so the whole beef is that when you're playing competitively, if you're playing Imperium, you have the advantage because you can bring in everybody that shares the keyword of the Imperium and play them in your army, so long as you do the whole is it stratagems they're called? Detachments, there you go. I think that's what it is. And like, so the beef is that yes, the Imperium is going to be way overpowered because they have a huge selection of models as opposed to Xenos, who, like, if you're an orc, you're an orc. You can't really play with other you can't really like combine with other armies. We don't really play competitive, so that I mean, I really enjoy the fact that you can create an Imperial army and just have Inquisitors, Primaris Marines, Adeptus Mechanicus. That's awesome to me. Honestly, I think it's a simple fix. I think GW just needs to say, okay, for competitive play, you can't do that. And then be done.
Right, but then that's kind of taken away the whole list building thing. Because lore-wise, thematically, you could bring Astra Militarum, Space Marine, Custodes, Grey Knights, AdMech, all in one list.
Yeah.
Because it is, the forces of the Imperium. These are available to play, to purchase, and all that. So in that aspect, I can see why people are like, I spent money on it, I built these things, I made this list specifically for this tournament, and now you're saying I can't bring it? I can see where, that aspect of it. But at the same time, you can pretty much pick and choose the best of the best into your armies.
Yeah, I still don't see anything wrong with that. So if you were that guy who built the list and then you show up to the Las Vegas Open, and then they're like, oh no, you can't do that.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna give you fair warning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's well, you should have read the rules. And if those rules weren't there, because I don't really know if they were there or not, then yeah, it's it sucks. But then there's always next year. Or just build something from scratch, or GW should have done something in the likes of helping those people. You could play with pieces of paper, cut them out, and
say, oh, this is my my Gargant or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
That way, if you come in with a list that's already built and they're like, oh no, sorry, you can't play this list, you could be like, okay, we'll have this backup list. But then you would have to have known that, so I guess that wouldn't have worked, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. That just sucks for you, I guess, if you're a competitive player. But then again, nobody likes you.
There's always something to it. There was a time where Tau were the most overpowered army. You could bring a Riptide wing and just freaking Kroot to protect them, and that Riptide wing would best everything else.
Yeah.
So it's no matter what you do to try to balance the game to make it fun, there's always going to be some way that the rules can be bent or something to make it unbalanced.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no game that's 100% balanced. There's always going to be things that tip off, the scales.
Yeah. I really hope, though, that GW does not get rid of that rule where you can't play all the Imperium models together, because that would suck. I really like I really like that.
They tried to balance. Just one last thing. They tried to balance that with if you play Unbound, then you don't get the command points and stuff like that. But then there's lists where if you bring certain things, you get to get command points back. So I don't know. It's give and take.
Yeah, and then I don't think you can play Unbound as competitive, can you?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Then you go on to say, also, can people say 40k isn't representative of everything? Or also, how can people say 40k isn't representative of everything? Isn't Slaanesh gender fluid? That was just a fictitious concept made up by a YouTuber to get views. So let's just move on. Next question.
This one is by Michael Howell. Do the Custodes have any apothecaries? And if they do they recruit from Terra or all across the galaxy? So first of all, the Adeptus is it Custodes? Custodians? Custodians?
I just don't like saying that because it's like, I think of a janitor.
Yeah, that's what I think of too. But anyway, there are only 10,000 of these super warriors. Each one was hand created by the god Emperor, and each one is essentially a mini Primarch. There's, as far as I know, there is no way to replenish their ranks because they're already like created. Their gene stock and everything was already used. So when they die, they die. There's no way to, like you said, recruit from Terra or anything like that. Because if you ended up recruiting from Terra, essentially you're just making Space Marines. So yeah, that's there's no recruitment.
Yeah. Next question comes from LM5853. What will be the long-term future of non-Primaris Marines? Will they simply die off?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, we still see models and stuff from like 2nd edition, and I mean, almost nobody really plays them because there's been upgrades to the model. For example, Necron Warriors, they've been updated. Basically the whole Tyranid lineup has been updated. So I mean, you can still play with those old models, but chances are you'll like the look of the newer ones, meaning you're probably going to buy the newer editions.
Yeah.
Good input.
I agree with what you said. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one's by Jeffrey Kenyon. Could you guys make a Howling Griffin video? They're the chapter that I play, and I'd love to see a video by you guys on them.
What? We haven't made one? I thought we already did. They're purple, aren't they? Well, yeah, we'll make one if we haven't done so. Next question. I have one from Wolfie of Honor. So if Necrons are not using warp to travel around stars, wouldn't that make them a primary target of the Imperium so that they could salvage the technology? No, because it's Xenos technology.
Right, yeah.
So that's bad. The Adeptus Mechanicus might want to get a hold of it, but those are only the corrupt hair techs. Yeah, and they use physics, like top-notch Albert Einstein physics. Like stuff that Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't even know about. Obviously. Next question.
This one's by Calvin Heyman. If the Emperor did come back, but he wasn't able to leave Terra, do you think this would keep the Emperor from basically ruining the lore and the game, but also help advance the story and give us new and awesome models?
No. Because like what you're saying is that the Emperor comes back, he can't leave Terra, which means you can't play him. So what's the point of him bringing him back? Like it's the same thing.
Right. Essentially, we're in the same era because he's still on the Golden Throne or something.
Yeah, so he's alive, but that's it. Like all the benefit that you get from that lore-wise is that now you have people that can talk to him. But people can talk to him right now.
Mm-hmm.
The next question comes from John Smith. I wanted to build a Salamander's army, and I am able to use Forge World models in 8th edition. Or am I? Yeah. Our friend, he plays Salamanders, and was it a battle report where he played the Leviathan?
Yeah.
And that thing wrecked me. I had, my entire army was sent to take care of the Leviathan, and I think they left him with like a wound or two, but my entire army was gone.
Yeah. Well, you had a few like bikes, but you like ran away.
Yeah, I just hid.
You didn't want to be tabled.
Yeah.
And by he, I mean Gersh.
Yes, I did not.
Gad Yarviv. How powerful are Gork and Mork in comparison to the Chaos Gods and the Elder Gods? Where do they reside? Do they have their own kingdom? Do they have their own entities, like the Chaos Demons?
Ooh, that's a lot of questions. So where are they stronger than the other entities? No. The reason for that is that I think a lot of orcs don't really even care to ask about Gork and Mork. All they want is like fighting. So they're not worshipped to the extent that the other gods are. What was the other ones?
Where does he reside?
They reside in the orc warp. Because you got to remember that the warp itself is like huge. Even though you have Khorne's side, Tzeentch's side, all the other sides, you still have like the ashless wastes. So you have just open warp where nothing exists, or no chaoticness exists. Or no, it's still chaotic, but it's not like one of the 4 major ones. So they exist somewhere around there. And then the other thing was...
Do they have like orc demons?
No orc demons, but they have prophets, which is God's School Magurthraka. He's the prophet of the WAAAGH, or the prophet of Gork and Mork. Next question comes from C.A. Redneck. What would have happened... Oh, we've already talked about that. Do you have another one?
This one's by Axe2501. Can we get a 40 facts video on Gershwin's favorite army? For example, the orcs. More importantly, their kilocons, death dreads, stampas, and other mechanized machines.
You want like specific videos for each individual unit? We can do that for you at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Renzo Ramirez. What happens if the Emperor just died once? Or just dies one day? Say he's assassinated or some warp psychic assault. Or simply they can't sacrifice enough psychers due to some mass culling. Also, could one of the Chaos Gods defeat the Emperor by making as many psychers as possible go crazy and die, thus cutting off the Emperor's supply? So I guess you're asking, well, what if the Emperor died? If the Emperor died, then the Astronomicon, I'm getting tired now, would go blank, and a lot of ships would be lost. Basically, another Age of Strife.
Everyone would be cut off from one another.
The only thing that I see about that is that it might turn into like because Gilliman's around, so Gilliman might like create another Imperium, kind of like what he did on Ultramar, when the warp storm that was created by Lorgar cut Ultramar off from the rest of the Imperium. This was during the Horus Heresy, and like a second Imperium was created. So Gilliman will probably try to do that, and there are other ways to travel through the warp other than using the powers of a Psyker, or no, an Astropath and the Astronomicon. So they have the Dolan Gates, I think they're called.
Yeah, but that's like way riskier.
Yeah, and Gilliman knows about all those though.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Emperor ever died, I think Gilliman would step up. He'd be like, I got you guys.
Even more than he already is.
Last question.
This one's by Nikolai Lyon. I guess I'm behind in the mechanics, but when the templates go away?
You're really behind. A year ago and a half.
Has 8th edition been out for that long? Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, at the end of 7th edition was when templates. Oh, shoot. No, but yeah, they went away back in 7th edition.
Yes. And those were the questions for today. Thank you for sending them our way. If you guys did not get your question answered, jump on over to Patreon. We answer all those questions there.
And that's it. I'm Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And we are out of here.